As I make this video, investigators have just finished their press conference identifying the suspect and explaining his actions. There isn't anything more I can add to that information that won't be widely known by the time I publish it. And as I tried to organize my thoughts and make something more focused than the long stream with callers that we had on Wednesday night reacting to the news, the usual sources of relaxation and centering myself were actually strangely stressful. As a dad of young kids, if you need to distract your mind for a minute and remind yourself what really matters, something fun with my boys is the go-to. But given these circumstances, even that didn't give me the same feeling that it usually does. I almost felt guilty, or it felt unfair, or something was wrong about me enjoying my children safely in my home, while a man of very similar circumstance was just stolen from his wife and kids, their entire future erased for his supposed crime of expressing the same views and values that my family holds, just doing so with remarkable talent and effectiveness. And so for every smile and laugh that my boys had, I couldn't stop thinking about those that his children don't right now, and all those in the future that he will now never see or hear. So the stress is the act of murder itself, of course, but at least to me, the secondary stress of the reaction is just as strong and important. I can't look anywhere on the internet right now without seeing these morally deranged qualifiers. Well, sure, a life has value. Of course, it's wrong to kill in cold blood. But, and those are the tempered reactions. Those are the people with still a few weak connections to moral truth remaining in them, at least enough to prevent them from posting photos or videos of themselves outright celebrating the occasion. And of course, implicitly and presumably, these people would say the same thing and celebrate the same way if I was stolen from my boys in the same way, or you and yours were. All the more troubling is that I've seen several of these reactions from people I know in real life, people I knew in high school or college, or in some cases, people even closer to me now, like neighbors, people who have been a part of my life now saying, well, sure, your life has value if you bend the knee to my views. Well, of course, it would be wrong to murder you in cold blood, but if it happened, wouldn't that really be your fault for expressing your opinion about stuff? And for any claim that that perspective is extreme or rare, I wish it was, but no, it is not. In fact, Charlie himself posted polling data in April showing majorities of left-of-center respondents saying it would be justified to murder Donald Trump. It is justified to violently attack Tesla dealerships, as happened in the winter and spring, and a near majority saying it would be justified to murder Elon Musk too. And that research was done by the National Contagion Research Institute. It's a project of Rutgers and Princeton University, not some right-wing ideological organization trying to prove a political point. Trust the science on this one. And of course, the reason that sort of poll result prompts disgust in decent people is very simple. Those qualifiers are themselves immoral and evil. Life has value if. It's wrong to kill in cold blood, but. No, human life has value, end of statement. So it's wrong to kill in cold blood. Proper conclusion. Any qualifier on these premises means you don't think they're universally true, just conditionally true, and you don't actually believe in these truths or uphold them or obey them. You just deploy them as tools when it's convenient for you. So you think that you set the rules, actually, and the rules aren't set for you. And explaining why that simple truth is true, human life has inherent value, period, was one of Charlie's greatest gifts. He has plenty of viral clips on plenty of different topics, but among those most commonly played are his calm and polite interactions with hysterical feminist loons, ostensibly trying to convince him, but really trying to convince themselves that killing their own children is just fine, maybe even good. Why is that wrong? And why are they getting so hysterical trying to explain otherwise? Well, it's because they're making themselves enemies of that simple truth. Human life has value inherently. Okay, well, why does it have value inherently, though? That is one of those "it just does" answers, so fundamental that when you finally finish that seemingly endless toddler interrogation of why, a line of questioning in which I am now an expert witness in handling, that is the answer at the end. And Charlie was as gifted as any in explaining that basic truth. Human life has value because it was made in the image of God. It was placed here to do something, to pursue something, for a purpose. And all morality rests on respecting that purpose. And perhaps you, like I did earlier in my life, have difficulty accepting that premise without some more tangible proof. But if nothing else, it's true because the opposite can't be. If human life has no inherent value and the rights that come with it as a consequence, what is wrong with murder? What's wrong with theft? What's wrong with lower level crimes, like just punching a face that you don't like whenever you feel like it? To know that those things are wrong is to know that the lives of others have value beyond just what you give them. Value to whom? Well, that question is how you make friends with God. And Charlie was and is among the great friends that he has. Well, okay, but if human life does have such value, and God gave that value, and God enforces that value, why would God allow Charlie to be taken in a way so contrary to that truth? Why would his great messenger for that truth be silenced by somebody with no regard for it? Why would Charlie's purpose be erased in such an ungodly way? Perhaps the atheist Fedora is proudly tipping to these questions right now. Well, all life ends in death. That is the nature of it. And the circumstances of that death do not erase the value or the purpose of it, whether it's in the womb or a century later. And so, for Charlie, as for everybody else, it wasn't. His purpose was not erased. It remains. And the more I think about it, the more I believe that Charlie's purpose was to reacquaint us with the most fundamental truth after God himself. Human life has inherent value. Stop talking after that. How did Charlie demonstrate that truth beyond his years of spoken word? Well, in his death, Charlie has exposed the people gleefully living contrary to it and the demons who have captured them. Charlie has given us all a window to the souls of those who would do the same to you and your family if they could, or at least would laugh and cheer if someone else did. That is a gift of vision and moral clarity we should all be very grateful to receive. So, we can correctly respond to this moment as Charlie and God himself would have us do, and that is to recognize that there are fundamental, universal moral truths that exist above us and before us. And the first one on that list is that human life has inherent value, or we can reject that truth and choose the fork in the road that is demon capture. That philosophy instead asks, is God really the boss, or am I? Does God really make the rules? Why can't I just play by the rules that I want? I don't really like his game, so I think I'll just make my own. That thinking is the core of the transgender ideology that may have played some role in this case. I saw a great tweet explaining this concept very simply last month. Quote, "Transgenderism is the decision to, in pride, turn your back on God. Decide that you will make yourself in your own image, live a life of self-worship, and adopt a new name in the process." There is a biblical villain who established that playbook and suffered a rough fate for it. Even if you want to dismiss all that as just magical fairy tale nonsense, just some old world way of trying to explain what modern methods can explain much better, okay, sure. But it's not just that the opposite can't be true, though it can't. It's that you almost certainly do not live as though it is, as though human life doesn't have inherent value. As though human life doesn't have God-given purpose. Because there is a reason that you get up every morning and you do certain things, and you don't just end it today. There is a reason that you care quite seriously if you live through today, actually, and if your family does too. You only care about those things if you believe that a future matters. And you only believe that a future matters if you accept that it has a purpose. And even if you can't see that clearly today, well, you can feel it. Just like you can feel that undeniable gravity under your feet itself. Because, likewise, to deny the world's moral truth is like reversing gravity itself. We might as well just fly off into the stars. It is that chaotic. Because if it really is all just one big, meaningless, cosmic coincidence, there's no real purpose or reason to it all. Really, your life is yours to do whatever you want with, and whatever you decide is just as valid as the next guy. Well, then there's nothing wrong with a wasted life or even a taken life, because there was no value to waste or to take anyway. There was no meaning. there was no purpose. And that is why to deny the inherent value of human life is to make all immorality possible, if not justified, if not celebrated, as we're watching in real time. You abide by these rules, even if you can't easily explain them. And you recognize those who reject them for the evil that has captured them, even if you can't write some philosophical essay about it. Where do those rules come from? Who wrote them? And why do you feel so terribly about their violation? To seek those answers is to seek God. And Charlie was as good a shepherd on that journey as any. And I can't tell you that I have all the answers or the perfect philosophical essay to explain it all either, but I can tell you that when you go honestly searching for God, as Charlie consistently implored us all to do, you will be surprised by the blessings given to you and humbled enough to recognize those already given. And I think that's why losing Charlie feels something more like losing a brother, even though I never knew him and never talked to him. It's not just that he had similar views or faced similar threats like I or any of you who dare to say something in a public setting could. It's that he was a leader and a brother in the quest for the biggest truth of them all, the quest to know God. And as I'm editing this video, of course, right as I hit the concluding point, the video file is just lost due to some technical error. I do still have the audio file though, so from here on out, it's just audio from me only. Sorry for the mistake. And I'm not qualified to tell you what Charlie would want. We never even shared a word. His friends and his family will tell you that if Charlie didn't say enough to tell you himself. But I can tell you that he has inspired me personally. And for that inspiration, I hope that we all choose to join him on that quest in his honor. So what was Charlie's purpose? I think it was to reacquaint us with the most fundamental truth at a time when we've wandered dangerously astray from it. There is purpose for you. There is great value in your life, and you would do well to seek him who made that so. If you have questions, that's okay. I do too. But it's either that or the path of those demonically cackling as though that's not true. Charlie is standing at that fork right now, pointing very clearly in not just the right direction, but the true direction. And lucky us, the necessary act of respect and honor is actually the easiest one. It's just a simple, hey man, thanks for the tip. I really appreciate that. I think I will head that way. Thanks as always for listening and for supporting this channel. Always appreciate that thoughtful discussion down below and especially over on X. That is at ML Christiansen. You're always welcome to coming out and chatting my live streams as live on Wednesday and Sunday nights. Looking forward to it. Goodbye.